crypto has unlocked the fact that now you could just, if you just own some, and I think that as far as real estate goes and loans is the game changer, because my problem the last few years is just coming from family businesses, getting paid cash, not having the best credit, things like that. You're not the best candidate for loans. And obviously right now to get a loan is freaking impossible. Crypto has unlocked the fact that now you could just, if you just own some, it's usually Bitcoin because it's the most trusted. Wait, I could just if I have $1 million of Bitcoin, you're going to give me a $500,000 loan instantly. You don't need to show anything, nothing like that. That's a game changer, because for somebody like young starting up, it's like, because why should, somebody who's striving to do better day by day get denied for a loan, but yet there's somebody who's may just have a better credit score gets an opportunity, and it's like, it's unfair. So blockchain and crypto has changed that. So how soon, and like based off, because you're obviously in the thick of like communities coming in and people just every day, is there like any type of like consumer talk, or is it more so just in investor world right now?
So, I mean, there's consumer talk as well. Yeah. I mean, pretty soon we're not going to have cash. We're not going to have coins. I mean, it's not going to be around anymore.
Yeah.
So they're setting us all up to get it ready.
I'm thinking about launching 3 crypto coins, and this is a little soft launch to it now. So whoever's watching, get ready, maybe buy some early. And I I copied a lot lately of what I've been doing is studying the biggest people, and Trump is one of them. He came out with his own coin. That kind of got me going. That's what started a few influencers to do their own thing. And I'm like, what are they using this for? And it was usually just like short-term gains. Trump might have a different, agenda, but then I was like, well, how can I do something like this? And to bring up, Fadan Foundation, one of the coins is specifically used for charity and for, it's a stable coin. So it's fixed to the dollar. And so then if you donate $100 and you get $100 of that coin, you always have it. And it's like, it's a very awesome incentive. And then I have one coin that's just like Bitcoin, and it's going to be a buy and hold forever. And we'll have additional one that is for short-term gains that'll be very volatile based off of how well I am as an entrepreneur. If I'm popping off, doing podcasts, doing a lot of business, being successful, I'm hoping that people will be trading the coin and holding it, and the price goes up. And it's a way to, now I found is a way for people to invest into you. It's like back in the day, people would always say like, hey, if you were a stock, I'd buy you. I think now people could literally do that. And so that's one of the things I'm just now, I don't really have like a coding background. So like, that's where I'm like trying to, how do I figure it out without having to have a lot of expenses on it? But I think that's the future. And
I was just about to ask you, how do you roll a coin out?
Basically what I've got, and I ask AI a ton of this, because I'm like, I don't want to do coding. I don't want this to take, hundreds of hours, but I basically ask it, I'll give it, a few different things. I'll give it my perspective, or the perspective it needs to take. I'll give it context, and then I'll give it basically what it needs to do. And it pretty much spit out, a few different best options. And then I had to go down what chains worked best, and then I had to narrow down what my goal was. And my goal was basically mainly for the charity purpose, because I was like, how do I get somebody to just invest into me, or invest in my companies, invest in my deals, without just being like money hungry? And I'm like, well, the best way would be in the form of charities, but then also in a way where they get something back. Whereas like, if I gave you like, hey, give me $1,000 to, invest in my charity, you don't get anything besides like an email confirmation, a receipt, Whereas I was like, wouldn't it be sweet what if they could just get my coin now? And then, we have access to that market cap for need be for charity purposes. And then if we're creating enough volume, if they ever decide to sell their coin, and they pull it right out. So that was what I learned. And there's like, the coding route via Python and all these crazy softwares. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible. And what we've narrowed down to is on the Ethereum blockchain, and then Ethereum's layer above, which is Coinbase's chain, which is Base, seems like it's going to be the best fit, because they're in the best fit right now to create a media channel that I think is going to do a lot of this easier for people. And I'm trying to be on the forefront of it. It's basically like, hey, if you want to invest into me and you think, hey, I'm going to be a gazillionaire one day, it's going to be very smart to buy my Fadan coin, because that's my buy and hold one. If you think that I'm going to just basically, I'm going to do some cool businesses, but then I'm going to fall off, and I'm going to do some cool business and I'm going to fall off, probably really smart to trade my coin, Alec. And then if you want to be a part of our charities and donate and invest with us, our John coin. John's my middle name. So Alec, John, Fadan, 3 different coins, all 3 different functions. Crazy future. We'll see how well it pans out, and hope it succeeds. Hopefully, maybe that's the one that puts me on the map. Who knows? But I've been dabbling in crypto for years. I tried creating NFTs with supplements and freaking NFTs for real estate, NFTs for cars, and I'm like digital assets, and I still believe in it all, but putting it together is hard. It's freaking hard. And
It was easy. Everybody would do it.
I think what I realize now is like just pull people in, and it's like you need team members, and it's like you can't do anything with just one person. Like, so freaking that one's like, it's tough because when you're trying to get people to jump onto your like team under your name, do you struggle with that too? Like people come, it's like Corona, it's like that's your name, you know. And
So
those are my names.
I kind of tried to let, you know, I want people to think that it's their name out there, right? It's their name on the building. So when you think of it that way, it's like, here, your name is out on that building. This is your reputation. This is your business, because it's literally a business within a business. You know, these are pretty much, you know, self-employed people. They got their license. They're not hourly. You know, they're again, a business within a business. So here, how can I get them to think that that's their name out there, and they're representing, you know, yes, they're representing Corona, but they're representing themselves ultimately, right? So once I get them to that state, it's okay. You know, I you know, and again, if you're not, it's okay. You just can't be on my team.
For sure. I've just most recently started getting into hiring a lot now because I'm trying to build a virtual agency, and like as much as possible, I'm really taking the remote vibe, and you know, besides me and my few local partners and things like that, it's just going to be all virtual agents. And then eventually, you know, until I can figure out AI agents as well, like that's eventually, like
I'll have 'em.
humans are hard to deal with, you know, and like,
Oh my goodness,
we all make
they
errors.
get abducted by aliens. Their mom died 4 times. You know, they're
myself included, though.
got
It's
bit
like sometimes
6 times. I mean,
you know, I'm
it's-
like, I'm not the best employee. And I've actually told that to, you know, one of my partners now. And he was just like, I do very well with, you know, making a lot of, bringing in a lot of revenue and sales for them and stuff like that. And but I'm like, man, John, I'm like, I know I'm just not the best employee. I'm like, but I'm a pretty good salesman. I'm like, but I'm not going to be, you know, like there's just some areas I suck at, you know, as far as like, I'm not going to be the best communicator, and like I'm working on all those things. But sometimes I stick to just like, you know, if it's with sales, what's the goal? The goal is to get their credit card number in most cases, you know, and to get them to sign the contract and to things like that. I stay focused to that. And like, once that's done, I'm like, okay, next. And I try to, you know, and I might miss in some gray areas when it comes to, you know, and some employees are really good at those areas, you know, so it's like.
So there's an exercise that I do with my team. I might have even done it with you, or maybe you heard of it, but and I got it from Dan Martell. So you guys don't know who Dan Martell is? He wrote a book, Buy Back Your Time. You haven't read it, it is a game changer. You have to read this book.
Agreed.
So he draws a quadrant, right? So there's a quadrant, and there's the things that give you energy, that make you money. There's the things that give you energy, that make you no money. Then there's the stuff that drains you, that makes you no money, and the stuff that drains you, that makes you money. So you got to write all these things down. And now the stuff that's on the side that gives you energy, those are the things that you're going to do. And those other things, now you got to find people that are going to cover those. And the stuff that you love to do, and the stuff that makes you the return on the investment, which is your time, those are the things that you need to stay concentrated on. And if there's anything, you know, you got to tell yourself like, hey, I want to make $500 an hour. Maybe you're not making it yet, but hey, you know, I want to make $1,000 an hour. And if there's any task that's less than $1,000 an hour, we're going to hand that off to somebody else. And when you could figure out what those things are, now your time, which is worth more than anything, you can't go to the store and say, hey, I need 30 seconds, right? A minute, nothing. So your non-refundable minutes, they go away. And anything else can be replenished. I need more money, no problem. I need more food, I need more water. I mean, I need house, whatever, right? You could go buy that, but you can't go buy your time. So you got to be really, really efficient with it, and make sure that what you're doing is moving the needle. Because you know, there's just because you're busy doesn't mean you're doing anything, right? That doesn't mean you're moving the needle. Doesn't mean that you're making any money. There's a lot of things that can keep you busy that does nothing.
Yeah, you showed me that exercise when I was at your office, and that was it was great. I also read the book too, so it was like sometimes, you know, when you're building a spider web, like two things need to connect. It's like I heard it once, heard it twice now, but hearing it from Dan's book, and then I'll hearing it from you, it's like puts it together a little bit better. And
I actually got to speak on the same stage as him. First time I met him, he gives me his book, he signs it, and I'm like, Dan Martell. I heard him speak on stage. I think he spoke like right before I did. And I was like, holy moly, does this man know his stuff?
For real. And that's a lot of, I've been studying a lot of him for the AI agents lately. And the guy's a beast as far as brand. And, you know, guy knows, and that's, I think, like you kill it with all the blue and like always rocking that. He's always rocking his blue shirt. I'm gonna try and always wear white now, and
There you
hopefully
go.
we could build some brand identity.
Absolutely,
That's like
bro.
the goal here.
There you go.
Freaking keep it going. Might be short sleeve though sometimes, so don't.
Oh, it's all good.
The comments don't
Got to
be
show them
roasted.
guns.
Yeah,
Might
the
have
guns.
to.
Maybe the new arm sleeve.
As long as you don't call the cops. Oh, you got a new arm sleeve?
Yeah, it's
That's what's
working.
up, brother.
We'll tease it.
Okay,
we'll tease
okay.
it. But legs coming in. It's half in.
There we go.
We're gonna be looking convict soon.
No judgment. No judgment. That's
Hey.
why I wear suits, because I like, I do scare people. So that's why, people tell me, hey, why you got the suit on, bro? I don't want to scare nobody,
Scare,
right? It's one less battle I gotta face.
Oh man.
But hey, real quick before I
Yeah.
forget, so we were talking about the future here, and what we think is going to happen. So I know this is what's happening. Okay, so I have a lot of business owners. I mean, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of business owners, and every single one of them is working on becoming a solopreneur. So what that means is they're going to replace their workforce, and not only people that are in the office, but people that are building their machines, people that are doing construction, people in the factories. Again, these people do not get tired. They don't need a break. They don't need a raise. They don't need anything but maybe some oil and some maintenance. So the people that learn how to control these machines and control the AI and control what bots or robots or whatever is going to be working, they're going to be the ones that still have that job.
Yeah.
So if I was you, I would learn the skills that are going to pay the bills and get to learning the AI. And if you're in a business that has been talking about it, or maybe ask one of your bosses or supervisors, hey, if this is what you guys are going to roll out, like, is there any classes that you guys can pay for me to take, or that I can pay to take, or what are you guys rolling out so I can learn this, so that way my job is still going to be here.
Yeah.
Because they're coming for you. I'm telling you, every single person, just like what you just said, you're looking for virtual assistants. Virtual assistants, if people don't know what that is, these are people in other countries that are working for a whole lot less than you are, and actually doing the work and loving it, because the $5 that they're making an hour is so much more money than anyone else is making over there. And, we're actually paying our VAs a whole lot more than $5 an hour, and what's crazy is when you ask them, like, hey, when you have the interview with them and you're like, hey, this is what the job is, what are you looking to get paid? And they tell you $4 an hour. Oh my goodness, $4 an hour. I actually feel bad. I'm like, you know what? I'll pay you a little more. Right. So, and that's where it's coming to. It's either virtual assistants, which are in other countries. We have some in Nicaragua.